Hey guys, welcome to the 8-Bit Goin. And first off, I just want to say sorry for not posting videos on a regular basis from some time now. I have been caught up in a lot of things and I'm trying to get back on track. So from now onwards, I'm not promising, but I would try to upload videos more regularly starting today. That's Thursday, so every Thursday I will try to post some videos regarding some tutorials, something which I have learned over the course of all these years. Maybe some software, maybe some codes, or maybe some programming language, maybe anything which probably might help someone out here. Whatever knowledge I have, I will try to share this going forward, and I'll try to make videos every Thursday pertaining to these tutorials. So today's video is going to be pertaining to the introduction of macros in Excel, just the basic, and we will try to write our very first macro, which will begin right now. Alright guys, so in this tutorial of macro, I'm just going to run over the basics of macros. I just want to keep it really simple, but I don't want to keep it really very easy, like just like this is just through a pop-up box saying that this is my first macro and that's it. I just want to give a basic understanding as to how you declare variables, how you assign values to them, and how you perform particular tasks. And probably once you have understanding on that, you probably might want to explore more on your own, and that probably might help you out to keep the first take the first step in learning macros. Now what I want to do here is that I want to have two tabs wherein I enter some values, and I want the sum, the difference, the product, and the quotient to be thrown out here by the particular macro. So this is what I want to do, and I know I can easily write a formula for this, but I just want to explain the basics. So keep that in mind. Now, for those of you guys who don't know what a macro is, basically is the simplest form of automation in Excel. Consider it of recording a set of actions which you're doing time and again, and then assigning a particular key to it so that it keeps doing it automatically, or writing a set of codes which is going to do the same function as per your liking and giving you the desired result. So and that is just the basic understanding, or the overview of what a macro is. Let me just go ahead and enable a few things before we jump right into writing our first macro. Now there are two ways we can actually write to create a macro. One is actually writing the macro in Visual Basic, and as you can see, I don't know where Visual Basic is because I don't have the developer tab enabled. By default it is not enabled, so you need to enable it by going into File, Options, and Customize a ribbon bar, and customize ribbon, sorry, and enable developer. So once I go ahead and enable that, we should see the developer tab. I can click on developer tab now, and I can see record macro, I can see macros, I can see Visual Basic. Ignore the rest of the things for now. So I'll go ahead in Visual Basics first. Let me go ahead here and create our first module wherein I'm going to type my macro. Now, before anything else, I'm going to go ahead and type in explicit C. This is kind of a ritual for me because this is what I have learned. Now, what is option explicit is basically in case while writing set of codes wherein there are thousand lines of codes, and you realize you have used a particular variable which has not been declared at the beginning, it is going to throw an error. So this is a good practice. Next, I'm going to declare some variables. I'm going to actually open my first macro. So I'm going to just name it as macro1, macro underscore first, and I'm going to open parenthesis, and in this set within this sub and the end sub, I'm going to write my first macro. Now first I'm going to go ahead and declare some variables. Next I'm going to assign some values to a set of variables, and then I'm going to go ahead and perform some tasks on those variables, and next I'm going to go ahead and actually once the functions are performed, I'm going to go ahead and display those values on the screen so that we know it has worked perfectly fine. So first thing is declaring the variables, and in macro or rather in VBA, to declare variables we just type dim, and I have 1 2 3 4 5 6 variables. So I'm going to do x as integer. Now there are various variables like integer, single, double, character, string, etc. So I will cover that in another topic probably, and I'll just go ahead and type as integer. Basically, if it's numbers, you want integer. If it's characters or some kind of word, it's string, etc. So addition is going to be integer, and if you want, you can also declare it. I'll just show you how you can, without typing dim div as integer. You can go ahead, oh sorry, you can go ahead and do that as well, but I like to actually create a particular line for each variable. And next is our multiplication as integer. So the division, I would just keep it as double because it might be in fraction, so I want the decimal to display. Now we have declared our 6 variables. Next, I'm going to assign particular value towards these variables like x and y. X and y is going to be for the values which are going to be in a and b, and addition, difference, subtraction, division, and multiplication is going to be for the values which are going to be populated here. So to do the giving values, I'm going to just say x is equal to, and I'm going to say cells, and it's just asking me for the row index. Now this function is good in case you are assigning values to a particular cell, or assigning pasting or placing values in a particular cell. So it's asking me cells, and it's asking me for row index. Now the row is actually the second row, which is here, and I'm going to just type 2, and the column is 1. So here we go, and I'm just going to type a value, because I'm going to give that value to x, and y I'm going to do the same thing but with cells. Sorry, I'm just going to copy this. Oh, it's going to copy see as well. Let me just do this, and I'm going to just keep 2. So what this does is basically it's going to assign the values which is entered in A2 to x and what is entered in B2 to y. Pretty neat. Now that we have assigned those particular values, we can go ahead and perform our functions. Addition is x plus y, subtraction is equal to x minus y, multiplication is, I'm sorry, x into y, and division is equal to x divided by y. Alright, so as you can see, we have gone ahead and we have opened the macro first. We have declared our variables, we have given them values, we have written the function. So perfect. Next we'll go ahead and display the values to the user, saying that okay, this is what it is. And what I want to declare here is I want it to declare that okay, the addition value is so and so. So I'll go ahead and do that. So now I'm going to say the value of addition, okay, and I'm going to leave a space, and now I need to actually display a particular variable. If I want to do that in my message box, I need to put the and sign, and I'm going to just put the variable add. So what this particular task will do, or line of code is going to do, it's going to give me a message box which is going to say the value of addition is this, right? I'm going to do the same thing for the remainder for functions. The value of difference is, sorry, difference is, you know what, I'm just mention the sum is, difference is, and I'm going to put here as sub, and I'm going to put the product is mul, and the quotient is div, right? So now I've gone ahead and displayed to the user that okay, this is what the values are, and next what I want to do here is I want to paste those values, the addition value, the variable, sub, the division, the multiplication, whatever value has been calculated, I want that to be displayed in the sum, the difference, the product, and the quotient. So using the same logic here, I'm going to just reverse that. I'm going to do cells 2 dot the second row and the third column dot value is add, right, and it's just going to write that particular value in that field. 4 is sub, and I'm just going to copy these two, and 5 and 6. 5 is the product, is mul, and next is div. Okay, so now we have gone ahead and written our first macro, which is going to add the two values, subtract the two values, multiply the two values, divide the two values, pop up a notification saying that the sum is this, the difference is this, product is this, the quotient is this, and then put those respective values into the designated columns. So that's pretty nice. So let's go ahead and run this. Now you can run this by pressing F5, you can run this by pressing this key. So let's go ahead and do that. But as you can see, this is saved as Mac XLSX, and you'll need to save this in the macro enable XLSM. So I'll go ahead and run this, and it's going to give me error because division is as double, and I will just check why. Oh, this is going to give me an error because I have not inputted any values. So I'll just go ahead and put some values here, 10 and 2, and then if I run this, it's going to say you need to save this in macro. Yeah, so I'll go ahead and do that. Okay, and let me just save this, close this. Okay, and I'm just going to go ahead and save as tutorial, and I'm going to save this in a macro enable. Okay, so it's an XLM. I'll go back on my Visual Basic, and now if I run this, the sum is 12, the difference is 8, the product is 20, and the quotient is 5. So if you ever wanted to know what the difference between 10 and 2 is, it's 8. So you learned that today. So I've gone ahead and created a macro. Now let me assign insert a particular button, and I will just assign this particular macro first to this particular button. So the moment I click on it, it will run the task. So I will go ahead and put this as task. And as I mentioned that you can also record some actions, I will go ahead and do that as well. So now I want to make sure that every time I don't want to clear this, I just want to make sure that before I run this task, my sum, difference, product, and quotient is clear. How can I do that? Is by clicking record macro, and I say clear, and I select C to this, I hit delete, and I stop recording. Now if I go into my insert button and I can see clear has been created, I'll just assign clear to this particular button, and I can just remove clear here. So what this is going to do is just going to clear any particular values in this particular field. So I'll go ahead and hit task again. It should give me, the moment I hit clear, it should go. So as you can see, um, the record function actually works fine. It's a good way to start, but what happens here is you will be confined to a particular area. Now in the moment I add some more data here, this clear task is just going to select data here. To be more intuitive and to be more adaptive to the situation, you would have to actually switch to Visual Basic. But clear recording your data, like you can see here, you can actually see that it has gone ahead and selected this particular range, and then it's gone ahead and cleared the content. So you can actually learn a lot by practicing such things. So it's a good way to play around and explore the VBA and macro. So I really hope this video at least gave you a basic understanding of the few concepts, the initial concepts, to understand Visual Basics and to start learning, take the first step towards learning macro. And if it did, then just give me a like and subscribe to the channel. Let me know in the comment section what you guys think about this video. I'm no expert in macro. This is what I have learned by watching some videos and implementing a few things myself, and I might be wrong in certain aspects, but it worked for me. There might be a better way to get this done, but that is just something which I haven't learned yet. So again, thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you guys have a great day ahead. Take care.